Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to Unparalleled Universe for another action figure review, and today we're taking a look at the brand new Marvel Legends Rage. And this figure comes from the Gameverse Abomination Build-A-Figure wave. To be honest with you, as a whole, I'm not very interested in this wave, but I do think there's a couple of cool figures, and I think that Rage is going to be one of them. So let's go ahead and get into this, starting with the packaging. It's the standard Marvel Legends packaging. You could see Rage right here, and you could also see that he's very lonely inside of the box here because he doesn't come with any accessories or anything like that. The only thing he comes packed in with is the Abomination Build-A-Figure piece, so that kind of sucks. But he does look cool in the packaging. Here it says Marvel, down here it says Marvel's Rage. On the side of the packaging, we get some really cool looking artwork of Rage himself. On the back, we get some very similar artwork. It just looks like there's more of it, so that's cool. And then there's a very brief bio, and you know, this biography is 1 sentence long. That kind of sucks. I really wish they'd put a little bit more effort into the biographies, especially for someone like Rage. Not a lot of people are going to know who Rage is, so imagine if you're a young kid and you see this figure, you want to pick it up, and you go to look at the back to try to learn something about him, and all you find is this 1 sentence. That would kind of suck. So I wish they'd put some more love into those, but you know, whatever. Moving on here, we are able to see the other characters that are in the wave. It looks like half the wave, about half of the wave is comic book characters, and the other half is the video game based characters. I'm not very interested in the video game stuff. I'm gonna have to get Captain America because it's Cap, but aside from that, I don't have much interest in those. And I do think the Build-A-Figure looks pretty cool, but I don't know. I'm just not crazy about it. We'll have to see. I've heard a couple people say that that figure would make a really good Chode custom. I think that's how you pronounce it. Chode? I don't know. The dude from Starjammers. I'd be so down for that. Hopefully one of these days they repaint this Build-A-Figure into a custom of that and give us like a Starjammers box set or something awesome like that. That'd be so dope. Anyways, I think that's enough of the packaging. Let's go ahead and open it up and take a look at Rage. Alright, so here we have Rage right out of the packaging, and you know what, I'm gonna be honest with you, I like this figure a lot more than I was expecting to. I think he's pretty cool. Yes, he's a little boring because he doesn't come with any accessories, and it's a body that we've seen a bunch of times before, but these little add-ons that they threw on him really make the figure feel more new than I was expecting. I was just kind of thinking that this was just going to feel like a repaint of Venom, but it's actually pretty cool. There's a lot of good stuff going on here, and if you're not familiar with this body, it is the same body that we've seen on Venom, on Hyperion, on Luke Cage, on Bishop, Radioactive Man, all kinds of characters. But when they add stuff to the body, it really makes it feel different and fresh enough for me to enjoy. And you know what? It's kind of funny because with this body, I'm often like, you know, I don't like it. I think it looks bad. I don't like the way that the chest looks. But in most cases, I tend to enjoy the figures that this body is on. I just kind of don't like the idea of this body. I don't know how to explain it. For the most part, I like all the figures that they put on this body so far. Except for maybe like Venom and Sabretooth. I think those characters should have gone on different bodies. But with characters like Bishop and Luke Cage and Radioactive Man, they all have different things going on, and I don't know. I like all of them so far. So, you know, I thought that I don't like this body, but every time I get a figure that's on it, I enjoy it, including Rage. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with the way this figure came out. But let's go ahead and take a look at some of the things that they did on here to make it feel different. So the first new thing on this figure is the head, and it is a completely new head sculpt, and I think it looks really good. I especially like the facial expression. He looks super pissed off, and he's just ready to throw down. And the mask is really cool too, with the black and yellow. And it's kind of weird how they did the mask because it's actually a separate piece from the head underneath. You could see that it's actually made of like soft plastic, and you could kind of move it around. And I think that's kind of cool. You could probably work with that to get different looks going. Like you could move the chin up a little bit and make his facial expression slightly different. Or I was thinking you could kind of push like the mask up and make it look like he got punched, you know. I think something like that would be kind of dope. You could work with it, you know. It just kind of caught me by surprise. I don't know why they didn't just do like a full-on regular head sculpt, but in any case, it looks really cool, so I'm happy with it. And then moving on to the vest here, the vest looks awesome. There's a lot of really nice sculpting work on it, but there's not a whole lot of paint. Like, I do wish that there was a little bit of paint on the button there. I think that would have been dope, but there is some paint on the pocket lining, so that's good. And there's also paint on the buckle here. But yeah, look at all the texture and all the details on there. It looks really good. I like how you could see the zipper. And the vest is actually kind of thick, you know, but it doesn't get in the way of the articulation or anything. Except for like going back, but you know, who cares about that? But yeah, the vest looks nice. And then check out the back here. It does have like a actual leather kind of look to it. So that's dope. And then we have these things on his wrist. These little bracelets or whatever you want to call them. Actually, you know, I guess it's supposed to be like part of the glove. At first, I thought the glove or the hand actually had sculpted details for the glove, but it doesn't. It's just painted to look like that. But still, it sells it well enough, so it looks good. And then here he has like a, I don't know what you'd call this thing. I don't know if it's a belt or what, but it's like it's a loose piece, but it's not so loose that it's falling all over the place. It's fitted pretty tight to the body, so you don't have to worry about that like sliding down or getting in the way or anything like that. So that's cool. And then moving down here into the boots, I think these boots might be completely new for Rage. I can't think of another figure that I've seen that has these same boots. And they're kind of cool. They have a shiny look to them. It's a nice contrast to the rest of the leg. So I think that's dope. And yeah, man, I think they put a lot of extra little things on this figure to make it feel different enough, you know? Like, obviously, you could tell what body it is right away. But with all these things added on, it feels new. So I'm happy with the way this figure looks and all the details on it. And as I mentioned before, Rage does not come with any accessories other than Abomination's right arm. And this actually looks like it's pretty good. There's some nice sculpted detail on there, a little bit of paint work, and it looks kind of nice. So I might end up building this Build-A-Figure, even though I had no intention of doing so. But at this point, I have like half the wave, so I might as well just grab a couple other figures and build this guy. It looks like he'll be pretty cool, and I don't know, we'll see what I could do with them. But yeah, I do wish that Rage came with some accessories. It would have been nice to get some other hands or maybe some weapons, I guess. I don't know what you could really throw in there with him. I know he has different style masks, so maybe like a couple of different heads that had like different color masks or something would have been cool. But, you know, it looks like they put all the money into the Build-A-Figure because there's a lot of detail on here. And from what I've seen online, it's a big Build-A-Figure. So maybe that's where all the budget for this wave went. But I really wish that they gave Rage some kind of accessory. And I know that some people were curious to see how a Luke Cage head would look on this body, so let me go ahead and show you that real quick. I have the Thunderbolts Luke Cage right here, and obviously the head pops right on, but I will say that the skin tones don't match like whatsoever. The Rage body is a little light skin and the Luke Cage body is pretty dark. So if you want to like repaint either the head or the body, you could probably make it work for like a old school Luke Cage. But I think this would look kind of cool if there was like a white shirt under and then the skin a little darker. I think that would make a pretty cool looking Luke Cage. But as is, you know, it definitely would need some work to make it look right. And then for some quick size comparisons, we have Rage alongside a couple of his New Warriors teammates. On the left, we have Night Thrasher, and on the right, we have Darkhawk. And next up, we have him alongside Nova and the Astro Vance figure, which I know he has nothing to do with New Warriors, except he is an older version of Justice from New Warriors, so I figured why not. Next up, we have him alongside the Mafex Spider-Man and the Marvel Legends 80th Anniversary Captain America. Here he is next to the Marvel Legends Radioactive Man and Marvel Legends Luke Cage. And then finally, we have him alongside the Marvel Legends Pizza Spider-Man and Marvel Legends Bucky Cat. And I know that most people already know what's up with the articulation on this body, but let's go ahead and run through it anyways. First off, his head is on a ball joint, so it does move side to side. It's got a little bit of tilt to it. He could look up only to about right there because his jacket collar gets in the way, and then his head could look down to right there. And the neck joint on this body is kind of weird. There's certain positions that it just won't stay in, and then the head will just kind of like move by itself. It's really weird. See, there it goes. Yeah, so that's kind of strange. And then for the torso, we have your standard ab crunch, but it crunches forward a really good amount, as you could see there. The jacket does not get in the way going forward, but going back, it does hinder it a little bit, but still, you could still get him leaning back a little bit, so that's cool. And then you do have a waist swivel, and his little belt thing just gets out of the way, so that's awesome. He does have ball jointed shoulders that go all the way around. They come out to the side. Upper bicep swivel. He's got a pretty nice elbow joint there, so that's cool. He has a wrist swivel, wrist hinge. The legs go out a pretty good amount. I wasn't expecting them to go out that far, but that's a pretty good spread there, so that's cool. Let's see if we could get him to stand up with his legs spread like that. So yeah, there you go. And his feet are almost flat to the ground, so that's pretty good. And then his feet could kick up to only about right there. They could go back to right there. He's got an upper thigh swivel. Double jointed knee that only goes to right there. He's got a boot swivel. And for the feet, they come down to about right there. They come up to right there. And then you have rocking ankle. So there you go. Some pretty good articulation on this body. It's the standard Marvel Legends articulation setup. So I'm happy with it. I think it works, especially for such a big muscular dude. It seems like you could pretty much get him into some nice poses. You could get him into some cool fighting poses or whatever you want to do. So yeah, I mean, this body's articulation isn't great or anything, but it's enough for figures like this that have this build. I do wish that there was some kind of butterfly shoulder in there or something. I think that's the only thing this body's really missing. You know, but for the most part, I think it's pretty serviceable, so I'm happy with it. All right, guys, so at the end of the day, no, he's not the most exciting figure ever. Yes, he's basically just a repaint of a body that we've seen a bunch of times before, and he doesn't come with any accessories. But still, with all that said, I like this figure a lot, and to be honest with you, I actually like him a lot more than I was expecting to. I thought that I would open this figure up, mess with it for a little bit, and then throw it on the shelf with Night Thrasher. But chances are I'm going to spend more time with this figure than I was expecting to, so that's dope. I like being surprised by how much I like a figure. I didn't really think that I'd care too much about this, but honestly, I think they did a really good job with it. I like all the little things they added to this body to make it feel different. And even though I don't really mind this body on this figure, I kind of wish that they went with the Hercules body. I think that that build would have been a little bit more fitting for Rage. But, you know, it would have been covered by the vest anyway, so it's not like it's a big deal. These two bodies have the same articulation. I just think that build would have worked a little bit better for this character here. So, yeah, anyways, I'm very happy with this figure. It's always exciting to get like obscure characters like this. I think it's really cool that they keep adding to the new Warriors, even though we've only gotten a few so far. And, you know, Darkhawk and Nova are obviously in their cosmic looks here, so they're not necessarily compatible with these new Warriors figures. Hopefully they give us like new Warriors versions of these two characters. Hopefully we see Namorita and Speedball pretty soon, and that'd be awesome. But I think it's really cool that Hasbro is digging deep and giving us these really obscure characters. And Rage works for the Avengers too, so if you have no intention of putting together the new Warriors, throw them with your Avengers, and I think you'll look nice there. So yeah, I think they did a good job. It's a really good representation of classic Rage, and that's really all you could ask for. So I'm happy with it. But anyways, I think that's it. Be sure to let me know what you think of this figure. If you plan on getting them, where are you going to put them, with your Avengers or with your new Warriors? Let me know in the comments. But I think that's it. Thank you so much for watching. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and all that good stuff. Thank you very much. Peace.